Hey, Storytelling Ron, and I'm here to do Rime the Frostmaiden DM tips. It's getting weird. It's part 4 still. Still the 10 towns, still the first 4 towns. And I've been getting a lot of great comments and likes and appreciate it. And a lot of great ideas too. So I'm really glad that you guys are coming back with your own ideas, totally different from mine. And I'm like, oh wow, so I'm glad that that's what's going on. And I guess you guys are enjoying my little, maybe it starts to get your mind thinking about things to do. So I'll just keep going. And what's been going on with my session, the live play, or not live, because I'm not recording it live yet. I'm not comfortable with live streaming yet, but our play and actual play, and then where I'm taking it as they're changing the story, and I'm adjusting to the players and what they're doing. Because the way I planned it out, just real quickly, based on my other videos, their monastery, they went to Bremen, they did the lake monster thing right here somewhere. Hopefully you can see that. And then I was expecting them to go to Targos and deal with the Frost Druid human sacrifice and fight an arena fighting, and then finding out that they're sacrificing humans and the Frost Druid revealing herself, and and finding out about the Zentarum and even about the wizards, kind of setting up these sort of storylines that are going to grow and then mix together as the story goes on. But instead, see, I'm not a railroading DM, even though I railroad, or I try to, and it's more, it's compelling them to a certain direction, but that's not what they went a different direction. So they haven't even gone to Targos. They did the lake monster. I was expecting them to go back to Bremen, and get the reward and get some clues. They didn't go back. They went instead to the camp, the boat camp that I had where the Targos men were there. That was their landing camp where they, would go out and then, pirate the lake or whatever. So they went there and took them out. And yes, one of the characters did officially die, but I let him live. So I'm a little guilty about that. I feel a little guilty, but I couldn't just, he never played before. He did foolishly jump his cleric into the middle of some guys. But he had all death saves. He failed all 3 in a row. And no one else could really get to him in time because they all had other people they were fighting. And he just failed everyone. It was a funny thing. I couldn't kill him though. I couldn't do that to him. We officially, as I officially said, see, because he asked at the beginning of the campaign how do characters die. This is how you die. But I said, you know what? I'm going to let you live though. I could have, it was in the moment, so I didn't really come up with a good idea. And of course now I do have a good idea, but I think it's a little late. I could have said he died, and then the only place they know of, they could go back to the monastery. And then they have one resurrection scroll, this old ancient scroll they can pull out and resurrect them. I should have done that, but I just didn't think about it at the time. And I kind of want to do it again now, but I am thinking I'm going to build a backstory based on his death. I think I'm going to give him sort of a death curse, where slowly throughout the story, others are going to say, you have a curse on you. Did something horrible happen to you, and I feel a curse is rising within you, see? So maybe that'll give him a journey back to the monastery, and they'll have like a greater restoration, so maybe he has a death curse. So I'm thinking about, I got to delve into that more, but I think I'm going to do that. So I think that'd be kind of fun. I just couldn't kill him. I couldn't, first guy. And I'm trying to keep these characters together in this story. So there's that. But anyway, and they might die again, so I'll have to figure that out. So they did the boat camp thing, and that was pretty fun. Big, nice, like first level battle. They're still first level. It's like third session, and they're still first level. That was kind of interesting. And so they decided now they had a couple of survivors because the camp had a bunch of fishermen prisoners. And they learned about the human sacrifices, and they did have a sacrifice there that was still, they were still cutting up as fish bait, even though they don't really sacrifice, they're actually, even though they're sacrifices, they're using them in a way that's like productive, so, because I'm bringing in the cannibalism aspect. So they decided to sail out and skip Targos, which I'm a little, as a DM going, then they skipped Tourmaline and they went to Lonelywood. And I was like, whoa. I didn't know they were going to go to Lonelywood. They decided to. I gave them choices and different fishermen. They had a fisherman from Lonelywood, 2 from Tourmaline, and 2 from Bremen. And they sent the Bremen ones back with some fish and, reward, or, helping them out on a boat. And then they went to sailed to Lonelywood. I could have had some more pirates attack them on the lake, but I don't want to, I want to move along kind of thing. And we were kind of ending the night, so I wanted to get them to Lonelywood and introduce these honorary characters at Lonelywood. So they're in Lonelywood now, so I was kind of surprised. So I now have to readjust. And one of them, the cleric, was obsessing over, they got to get a druid. Kidnap a druid. Because none of their characters, I didn't want them to be a ranger or druid in this game. Because to me, those would really solve all these problems, the issues really quickly, or avoid the snow and all that really quickly. So I didn't really want to do that. I wanted them to be characters that they have their strengths, but against what's going on here, they're very weak. So, but it was funny because even though he's never played D&D before, he knows they need a druid. They need a druid to go talk to the animals to see why they're possessed and what's going on. And so he was obsessing over that. And it was I was getting like annoyed. But they got to do what they want. I was getting a little annoyed. But it's probably because I'm just not prepared for it. See, so I like to be prepared. And now that they're in Lonelywood, I'm like, oh my gosh, he is correct. They need a druid. So I'm going to have an old curmudgeon druid, which is not very far fetched from me as far as acting goes and personality, to then help them. And so he's going to help them with weather, predicting the weather. I'm going to have him have that, and knowing where some of the creatures are so they could go hunt them down. So I'm going to give him that, but he's old curmudgeon. He's not going to be able to travel, so he just gives them advice on what to do. So that's going to be that. So I'm kind of, so that's kind of cool to see the players do draw out in you as well, things to do, like storylines. So I'm going to go over then what's going on. So let me go to Lonelywood. I've built it up a little more. And this is the old map of Lonelywood. And at Pavel's Used Goods, I'm going to do, I might have already talked about this, which is right here. And at there, I'm going to have like all the old ruffians and, all the old warriors with missing limbs and crutches. They're all still kind of guarding this area with lights and fires. But the rest of the town is locked up because everyone's afraid of the cold light creatures. I'm calling them cold light creatures. And the thing I'm giving all these creatures is some kind of a mist or some kind of freezing or some little special attack to frighten the woodsmen and the villagers. And again, the only cool brave people is at the docks and Pavel, to me, he always has a cauldron of soup going. So when the fishermen return, they come and get some soup from him, and then they trade out with him whatever they found in the lake. And of course, there's a lot of ancient things in the lake. So if the characters go there, they can pay him some gold and then do a treasure search in the place and maybe find a magic item, or some ancient little thing sitting around in the junk piles. So I think that's a fun little thing. It'll be a DC 25 investigate, so it's going to be a hard roll. And if they do make it, they'll get a roll 1 to magic roll, or I'll just give them some basic item or something. So I'm doing that, and then there's 2 taverns, which I don't like there being 2 taverns because I don't want them to go to 2 different places to deal with, to talk to it just kind of throws it off. Just one tavern is enough. So I think I'm going to combine these and have. So I'm going to have Zotol tell them about Revel's End and about the ancient Snowdrake, because I have now my backstory in this now is that Turox, the ancient white dragon, is taken over Revel's End, because I found that more interesting. And so she's there. She's not at the boat at the Duchess, the stuck ship, because that's too small for an ancient dragon. To me, an ancient dragon is like, it's going to take some big place, and with miles of territory. And I don't think they'll ever really go mess with her, but they might, maybe later on. And also, this Rime of the Frostmaiden is coming after Storm King's Thunder, and my other campaign and players have killed a lot of frost giants. So I'm going to assume there's like less frost giants in the area, Death of Jarl. And so the dragons are rising. And so one of the dragons, obviously they know of, has taken the ship. But this guy, Zotol's going to tell him about Revel's End, and he's kind of curious if they could do anything, which they can't, but they just give him some sort of story there, like about the dragons, and just give him a nice little tale there. And it could tie in later. It will tie in later anyways. And then at the other tavern, which I probably will just combine them again, I'm going to have these. This is where some of the guys hang out, the wounded warrior kind of guys, all, trying to deal with what's going on and sticking together. And then I'm going to have the old druid there as well. and this guy's gonna teach him a little bit about the gods. And here's something I really am going to be doing. I'm going to be include now. In Rime of the Frostmaiden, it talks about the 4 gods, or I think a little bit about Auril. She's the god of winter, and then it has Talos, god of storms, Umberlee, goddess of the sea, and Maelor, god of the hunt. So Talos, Umberlee, and Maelor hate Auril for some, for different reasons, and so I think that's kind of a neat thing to include in here, and it's not really brought up or anything. And so how there's the 2 devils dealing with each other. I'm going to take those out because I feel like there's the devil at the Caer Dineval castle with the cult members, and the devil at with the Sunblight and the Dwargar king, making the dragon. And it's just it's kind of like having Sauron with whatever, some other villain and some other villain, and you're like, who am I going? Where am I going? I want it to be sort of the same gods, all having the same relationship with each other, dealing with the same things. All right, I'm talking about gods. Yeah. So I just wanted the pantheons. Just come back with my dog barking. I just wanted the pantheons to all relate somehow. So I'm taking out the devil things, the devil worshippers, and I'll bring that up here in a minute, and putting in Maelor, the god of the hunt, in that area with the black knights or swords, knights of the black sword. So I think that's going to be more interesting I'm going to probably bring in Umberlee towards the sea, the moving ice and all that. Maybe she's the one that runs the sperm well that does the whole, which I think is kind of Harry Potter-ish. I'm not sure I'm into that, but something to that effect, because she's tired of Auril there, or followers of Umberlee. Probably more followers of than the actual gods, because they're not really interacting in this area. I think. I haven't thought about Talos, but I kind of want the druid to kind of set up this premise of, there's these gods and the little story. I haven't really come up. The story's already there. I just got to know exactly what to say. And he's also, like I said, he's going to know what the little creatures are. He can give them some acorns of healing, 2 die 8 + 2. So they're going to need that. He'll have some of that. The woodcutters are afraid. This is the cauldron where he cooks. I got to do a great blizzard. Oh, I really want to do so. I'm gonna it's not gonna be random. I'm gonna specifically have a great blizzard in town, and it's gonna, that first night they're there or whatever. And there's gonna be some black bears, and I want to start with black bears, because if I do a brown bear or a polar bear, those are gonna be way too tough. So little black bears, 2 of them possessed. The druid got in their they're because of the blizzard, they have that cover, the bears, to sneak around the village and start trying to break into homes and kill people. So the druid is like, they're here, in the snowstorm, we can't go, someone must go, and so hopefully they'll go, and they're gonna kill people, so they go hunt them down, and it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna do like a vision thing, and it's gonna be hard to see them, and some disadvantages and all that. Like 12, we'll go around 12, like 13 DCs, whether it's perception or constitution, just for freezing, or just to see them to attack, and it'll all be disadvantage kind of rolls. I think it'd be fun, be cool, creepy, scary, and they got to find them. Okay, so after that, then the next night, I'm going to have it so that the druid knows it's going to be a calm night, and you'll be able to track them. If you can find the creature, you'll be able to track them, and he senses them again. And something, I'll probably get a little more detail in there in this, but it's really about how this all plays out as far as what the druid says, or I might just do it on the fly. But I'm going to have the frost druid with wolves, maybe have the druid attack with wolves, and then draw them into the forest, then have the moose stalk them. So actually, I might do that. Then, if wounded badly, it hooves back to the Elven Grove, which is where the druid will be hiding. But because it's a calm night, they'll be able to track it because of the snow. And then, of course, I have the tomb. The Elven Mummy, I'm going to keep that. I think that's kind of fun and cool. They can have that. And I just took this picture off of my Roll20. And the mirror, what I'm going to do with the mirror is they're going to use it so that they can actually get a vision of their past. Maybe even the curse. Like the cleric looks at himself and he sees he's dead. So that, I'm going to write that down. That's cool. Cleric sees himself as dead. Cleric sees himself as dead. As bloody hatchet dead. Okay. That's gonna be cool. Now in the tombs, there's two other tombs. The mummy's tomb. Well, that's the mummy's tomb. The second tomb, and then the I'm putting in Frost Druid Asher because if they encounter, they can't deal with Razavizin or whatever. Razavin is way like 9th level. They're only 2nd level, so no way she's gonna blow them away. So I'm doing a little less, a lesser Frost Druid in this area and this one, it's just gonna do Fog Cloud to escape and do a Cold Beam as it summons 2 cold light creatures, some wolves, 2 wolves, not winter wolves, but just basic wolves, and they have a little bit of a knockdown and a little bit of a cold damage to their breath. This is the wolf version up here. DC 11 strength, and if it knocks them down, then it gets a advantage to its bite attack and a cold. So the main treasure I'm going to have, they can get these treasure. They can get DC difficulty 20, investigate, I'd say, roll in the tombs, and if they roll a 20, I'm going to have 1 roll. So whoever gets to do it, 1 roll, then they'll find something magical. And then in this one, there are definitely 6 silver arrows. So that's kind of cool. They can have +1 arrows or bolts, and a vial of lesser restoration. And these I come up with myself, and I'll let them do 1 roll, magic roll, and then I can go to my chart and they can roll on the magic, or they roll. But for the druid, the main items I'm going to give him is what I call low magic. So it's 6 tundra herbs, a cooking kit +1 to the cooking rolls, sack of 10 grains, so it's 10 uses, 4 recipes. So they're going to have some recipes here. So I'm going to, if the cleric can get these items, for instance, oil of sharpening. If you can get a fatty animal or 4 trout, or, bear or DC, it's a DC 16 to do this. 8-hour cook down. It'll make an oil that's +1 to any blade for combat. So oil of sharpening. See, so that'd be kind of cool. Potion of resistance. And that's resistance to damage resistance, just basic damage resistance. So you got to get some bare bones, one large bare bones, tree bark, tundra herbs, 1 part of a monster, and DC 16, and 8-hour cook down, 8 wood. So you get a potion of resistance. So that's kind of cool. And you can only make 1. I'll only allow them to make 1, just because of the amount you need to cook down, simmer down into a little resin, thing. And the grainy bread is kind of cool. 1 grain, tundra herbs, milk. Got to get a goat or something. DC bake in a pot or oven, whatever. 1D, 10 pulse life. And in there they'll get to search the tomb and the room, and they can get 1 magic roll and then 2 regular rolls if they find stuff. And I guess let me go back over my treasure just so you kind of know what I'm talking about. So obviously I made my own treasure lists based on this world and just what I think they could use and what's kind of cool. And the first 2 are basic stuff like survival gear, survival food that they'll find, or gold, or items, which is this roll here. And that's how I do my gems or jewels or, all those little things that I just call them these kind of a merchant, 1 die 10 merchant items. And a merchant is 1 die 10 value, 10 to 100 gold. Common items are 1 to 10 gold value. They can find that. So that's kind of like if they roll a trade roll successfully, then they can either get gold, they can get an item, or they can get survival gear or survival food. And if they roll a magic roll, and I specifically say there's a magic in there, and if they succeed at that DC 25 investigate or whatever, they could get a potion things, a helpful magic item, weapon of armor, or dark magics. So these are just the things that I'm doing for treasures, and I love doing my own treasures, and I think they get a kick out of it too. Okay, I'm gonna maybe come back to that. Where am I at? Targos, right? No. No. Tourmaline? No. Lonelywood. I'm at Lonelywood. Where is Lonelywood? Here it is. Okay. So that's that. Oh yeah, we're down here. So that's what these are. Okay, so that's what they're at. They're at Lonelywood. Now Tourmaline, I've kind of just fleshed this out a little more. The gem mine. I don't think I'm going to do the Lost Sled with the the polar bears, and I made it a little different too. But I don't know if I'll end up doing that one, at least not yet anyway. But I'm definitely going to do the gem mine, and I'm going to have some sort of tension between the speaker and the ruffian group from Targos who went up to Tourmaline and tried to pressure them to start human sacrifices. And I'm going to have a frost druid there, but Greg the One-Eyed Brute is missing, so he went to the gem mine and he's stuck there. And I wanted to call him the One-Eyed Brute so that when they saw him, with the eye patch, they knew, oh, that's the guy. But there was a frost druid with him, but she didn't go with him to the gem mine. And then when she sensed that he wasn't coming back or was in dire trouble there, she decided to, I think at this point, leave Tourmaline and just haunt the area outside, and maybe if they might want to go for her. I don't know. I haven't fleshed that out fully. Sorry, unfinished video. So here's the gem mine. I just copied this again from Roll20, screen captured that, and I'm going to do the zombies. Oh, I'm going to show you my zombies I drew, just for the fun of it. Let me show you. Just got to pause. Okay, so here's my zombies that are going to be in the mine, the abandoned mine, with the Grell, and see how there's like little Grells growing in the brain. Little tentacles. So that's kind of like my little idea for them. And they're not having weapons. Maybe I might draw more nails, but they're just kind of they just got turned and they're frozen, so they're not really rotting, right? They're kind of very cold. So that's just what I drew for them. And here's the Grail I drew. Pretty cool. I'm gonna put this on my Roll20, the tokens, whatever. Oh, and this this is the ghost of Azul, the sorcerer who was a sailor, the ghost of the captain he murdered and cannibalized. So I'm gonna have this appear every now and then. You murderer. So that's that. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so the gem mine I think is gonna be fun, little dungeon adventure with the zombies. This is where the mind flayer fossil is, and then the psi crystal, and that'll bring up the Totter with his past. Once he gets those laser guns, man, pistols, that's going to be cool. I think that's going to be a lot of fun for him using those. That was in Tourmaline. This is Lonely Wood, right? So that's I think. Let me finish this up. That's to me the end of the Four Towns explanations. I'm sure I will flesh them out even more as the characters play it. Oh, what did I do? I added an H. Okay, undo typing. And let's just go here, and I'm going to sort of zoom in a little just to show you this. And I moved, what I did in Roll20 is that I moved around some of the locations. And I just want to show you them because this is how I'm dealing with it. So Lonelywood is here. That's where they're going now, Lonelywood, and then I'm assuming they're going to go to Tourmaline, and that's where the gem mine is. So see, I moved it ascended to here. That way, the character, the gnome, I gotta go. So it'll be up here. It didn't matter where it was. I didn't see anything, and I didn't feel this was a good location anyway because it's too close to Sunblight, and it could to me trigger off all that storyline, and I didn't want to start that storyline just yet. Because I'm developing the Dwargar and East Haven and all that, and I'll do that in another video. But I want it to send in here. It's its own kind of once he gets it, they're going to take off. So that's sort of a done deal. It's done. So I wanted it in its own area with no, I don't want to bring up any other story. And if they get the Dark Duchess, I moved that up here as well in case he starts to really get the storyline and wants to go there. But it is a white dragon, adult white dragon, so I don't think they're going to go there yet, but definitely it ascended. We get the laser guns. That's going to be fun. And then after that, I'm assuming they're going to go to Bryn Shander, and I'm building that up. I'm going to bring Malar, the hunter, down here. Karak Dinaval. Karak Koenig is going to have the cauldron with the cave, the witch here, I think, maybe, or down here. But if they defeat her, then she's going to lead them to the Black Cabin. And then that's going to lead him to the Lost Spire of Netherall. Because they're connected to me. Well, she just knows of it because, hags know that kind of stuff. But I'm going to have her lead him to the Black Cabin. And I'm going to have the Black Cabin, actually, I'm going to tie in the wizard there with the Arcane Brotherhood. See, it's going to really I'm trying to tie everything together, like, because I'm an idiot, and make them all interconnected, so they're all leading to these things. And I got more going on with it. And again, I love doing this. This is just the way I do these things. I'm a homebrew DM by nature, but when you get these materials, again, I'm repeating myself, I know, but when you get these materials, you own it. You pay your $50, it's yours, or 40 or whatever. It's yours. You get to do what you want. You don't. And there are plenty of videos out there teaching you about these specific materials, and they're not that hard. You just read them. But I'm teaching you that you take it, and because we're having this framework, you can then play with it. We're having this framework of Rime and the Frostmaiden. You then, as a DM, can play with it and make it what you want, and you get excited about it. So it's like when you adopt a child, you make that your child. You don't try to get a manual and make it their child or someone else's child. If you adopt a child, which is what I'm pretty much, which is what you do with the material from Wizards of the Coast, you're adopting that child. Now it's your child. You own it. You own the child. You raise that child. So boom. It's your choice then. The way you craft. And of course that child is with the players is going to create its own journey within your expectations. And like I said, they are going in a route that I was not expecting or did not control, and I'm adjusting accordingly. So yeah, I think it's going to be. So that's just my little thing on all of that, and hopefully that will help you and give you more ideas. And thank you for the thumbs up things and the comments. I really appreciate it. It does get me going, and I'll try to do a live stream. I know one person requested a live stream. I've never done it, but I guess I'll do it. Live stream with two of you. That'll be cool. And I'll figure that out. Try to figure out a schedule. All right. So I think that's the end of this part, and I'll move on to Lac Danishore. What I'm doing there, I'm building that up, and Bryn Shander, I'm building that up, and Red Waters and Good Meat and I'm building that up too, and getting that all figured out. All right. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.